Hey, and welcome to Lemon Drops, brought to you by the Smoky Lemon crew. Well, we're talking branding, marketing, and everything in between. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's drop in. Welcome along to our next episode of Lemon Drops, and special guest with us today is the legendary Grant Carter from the Taranaki Health Foundation. Hey, Grant.
Legendary in his own mind, don't it?
Wow, I hear you're a fifth generation Taranakian. How does that work?
How does that work? So my great-great-grandfather
Yes.
landed here and just sort of checked the place out, see what it's like.
For the rest of the family?
Absolutely, yeah. Brought wife and I think a kid.
Yeah.
But then once he's here settled, brought his father out.
Right.
So that's where, so I'm cheating a little bit when I say generations. But yeah, we're here and we're staying.
So, Grant, before we delve too much into the Health Foundation, as a fifth generation Taranakiite, what's your favourite thing about living in Taranaki?
Oh, one word, lifestyle.
Yeah.
Lifestyle, we're just so fortunate here. I love it. For my sins, 30 years of being in New Zealand. So during those sin years, I did a lot of travel.
Yeah.
Still do travel, but you know, the one thing, Anna, I just love coming back here.
Yeah.
You know, you see the Maunga, you see the sea. I'm fortunate. I live right close to Pukekura Park.
Right.
It's like my backyard.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
Why would you want to be anywhere else?
yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. What's a typical day like for you at the Health Foundation?
Anxiety, stress, no. Really privileged job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, just a little bit of background. I've spent my working life working for organisations, trying to make money for rich people.
Yes.
I'm loving what I'm doing now because I'm working in the community and I'm making enhancements. So I'm making life here better for people now and for generations to come. A day in the life, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Normally on a Sunday, I'll have a look at my calendar and sort of think, not much going on this week. By midday Monday, I'm booked up.
Chocker.
So I can be here doing something really weird like this with you, which is outside of the comfort zone.
You love it.
Yeah, put me on stage. A lot of group talks. So, yeah, we in Taranaki, we've got such an amazing group of people like Lions, Rotary, Inner Wheel, Mr. Optimist. They're just outstanding. So I spend a lot of time working with them because they're so passionate about what we're doing and helping out. I spend a lot of time talking to different businesses, groups, even school groups, because just we're looking for donations, we're looking for support, but I'm also, a big part of my job is to educate people.
For sure.
Just to actually let you know why we're doing it and why there is a need.
So for someone that's never heard of the Health Foundation, how would you explain what you do?
So what the Health Foundation does, so we're working in the community. We do fundraising for our healthcare facilities, primarily Taranaki Base Hospital, Howrah Hospital and clinics in Stratford, Patea and Waitara.
Okay.
And we're working with the community to basically purchase either medical equipment or fund enhancements that sit outside of the government funding.
Because the government gives us a certain amount and it's based on our population, but it's these enhancements that we're looking for. Like, as an example, comfortable lazy boys to receive your treatments in and those sorts of things. Yeah.
That's one of the things that we've done, and we've completed that. Under construction is new Taranaki Cancer Centre, which is going to be an absolute game changer for us in Taranaki. Huge. So we've got a great space for people that are undergoing chemotherapy treatment. So we've got sponsors for the 10 chemo chairs, and these are state-of-the-art, super comfy chairs. Each chair has been sponsored by an individual or business.
That's amazing.
$10,000 a pop. We wouldn't have had that otherwise.
Local businesses and people. Yeah. So what chairs would they be sitting in if we didn't have those? Just something like a good old hospital chair that
pretty much
need a lot of recovering.
Yeah. In the current unit, they do have some chairs in there, but they're sort of like fairly basic, lazy boyish type things. Whereas these are state of the art, and they're really designed because you're going to be there for a few hours.
You are. And of course, the Cancer Care Centre is the latest project because we did the renal unit and it's amazing. I say we. It was a community thing. Yeah. And the biggest thing with the Cancer Centre is our locals no longer have to travel to Palmerston North for radiation and treatment. Yeah, that's huge.
That's massive. So that's the game changer that I'm referring to, and it's just so exciting. Nerd here, right? Like fun facts and things like that.
Love a good fun fact.
Yeah, love a good fun fact. So, and I'm not preaching to the people out there that are already undergoing their journey, but just so you know, radiotherapy treatment, you go to Palmerston North for that. Your treatment generally is about 5-6 minutes each time. It's 5 days a week, and generally a course can be 6 to 8 weeks. So for someone based here in New Plymouth, Although it's less than 5 hours of actual treatment, it's actually more than 500 hours away from home, away from your environment.
Wow. So for that small amount of, or time of, not a small amount of treatment, but the small amount of time, you actually have to be in the hospital in Palmerston.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to it takes it away from away from your families and your support and the travel and the cost and
And that's what we talk about. A lot of the decisions we make and the things we get behind is all about the impact on the people in our community, and really focusing to do our best to keep the people in our community when they're undergoing these sort of processes.
100%. Yeah. How far away is the cancer centre from completion?
Oh, it's not far away. Oh, it's getting closer. Haven't got a definite date yet. But everything is on track. I believe in the next week or two, the new Linux, so this is the piece of equipment that actually delivers the radiotherapy, that's getting installed in the next few weeks.
Wow.
And I've been through the facility. It is amazing. The Linux radiotherapy, so it's actually quite daunting when you go in because it's concrete walls wider than that, lead lined, and there's a maze to go in.
Because it's radiation in there, essentially. Yeah.
So it is quite intimidating. What's cool, like, just recently, I've had a business that's approached us. They are doing fundraising. They're actually involved in the build, and they're working on the cancer centre. And they've actually picked up themselves that, this bunker, which it is really intimidating. So they're wanting to actually put like a mural into that entranceway. So for when you're going in there.
Oh, so when you go for treatment, you have to go through the bunker.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we want to
go
look.
through the maze. So,
yeah,
rather than just a plain wall looking all sterile and whatever, they want to make it to be homely, probably, definitely Taranaki based for the cultural. So that's the cool stuff. So it's just not only band-aids and stretches that we get involved in, it's that holistic approach too.
Of how the whole experience is going to be for the patient, which is so important. What's a project that, or one of the projects that you guys are doing that you're really excited about right now?
Well, pretty much all of them,
yeah,
to be honest.
Because we're redoing maternity as well, right? Yeah.
So just to give you a scope of actually what's going on at the moment, so we've got the construction of the new East Wing build, which is underway. That's been going for more than 4 years. Again, we're in the last 12 months, let's say. Big build, so we can't pin down when it's going to be finished. New East Wing build is going to be the home to emergency department. The ICU department's moving in there, as well as maternity and neonatal will be relocated into there, and radiology will be setting up in the new East Wing build too. All departments just so much in need for what they're getting. Emergency room is just far too small for our population base. Again, the maternity ward, I was hatched there. I'm not going to say how old I was, but it's the same wall colour then when I popped out as to what it is now.
Yeah, I was actually too. It's the same, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just not fit for purpose. Do you know in that unit that there's not even a men's toilet?
Is that right?
That's true. So if you're there supporting your because gone are the days that you stand in the waiting area and hand out cigars and say yay.
Not allowed to do that anymore.
No, apparently not. PC. But that doesn't happen. The hubbies are there, the family's there to support, and there's not the facilities, there's not the room. Whereas this new maternity is going to be amazing. There's room for not only maternity but neonatal for the partner to stay, so they can actually start that bonding from the really beginning. En suites in every room, so the poor mum that's just had a baby doesn't have to wander the halls to find a toilet. Absolutely outstanding. And there's birthing pools. There's 10 rooms with birthing pools.
Wow. How have they got birthing pools there now?
They got one. I wouldn't go in it.
Oh. Not if everyone's been using it.
I did comment to some people, it's quite good actually, that while mum's mucking around doing this in labour and stuff, the dad can have a bit of a paddle while he's waiting.
Could he now?
No.
They go down.
The ladies in the group were, but I made mucking around with them. They didn't like that part.
No, it's not the right humour, I don't think, no. But, there was a time when dads had to go after baby was born as well, weren't even allowed to stay there. So it's a huge difference. And that's got to make it better for the nurses and stuff, knowing that new mum has the support of their partner there as well, they're not just there on their own.
Well, the neonatal ward, if you look at that, it's not a ward, it's a room. And they have space for up to 12 incubators and 12 newborns or prems in there. There is not room even for the mum. So if you want to do a feed-in or something like that, there's a side room that you go to.
Take your baby away.
Again, so this is going to be so different. They're going to have their own room with their own ensuite, their own space.
Awesome.
50-year build, it's just going to be...
Let's do it right.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had, you've done a lot of fundraising events, and have you had any unexpected moments, like things that have sort of taken you by surprise or...
I guess the one really is the magnitude of one particular interaction. Quite early in the piece, I was invited along to talk to a group called the RRT, or Rapid Relief Team.
Right, yes.
They're a philanthropic organisation. If you don't know what they do, so they pretty much, it's worldwide, and if there's a large emergency, they'll actually deploy their team into that spot. They'll set up barbecues and they'll feed all the emergency workers.
Amazing. So if you've done like Relay for Life, you might have seen them there, those sorts of things. Yeah.
They're actually setting up base very shortly. International Nurses Day is coming. This is the second year that they're going to be up at Taranaki Base and Harbour Hospital. They're going to feed all the staff lunch for the day. So
they came on board as...
Well, they approached because they're, as I say, they're philanthropic, and they just wanted to know what was going on and if there was anything that they could help with. So I sort of talked to them about that. But I've done a bit of research because they're also involved in, they're a whole community of people that live here, and they have a special group, special interest. And I was sort of aware of them, so I just asked, because my whole job is having people advocate for me. I don't cold call. I'm not out there banging the tin or anything. I talk to people when they want to talk to me. And so I just asked for a little bit of advocacy. Talk to the people in your community, and if there's, because they had a lot of business owners, get in touch. That was like almost a throwaway comment, right? 3 months later, I got rung up and said, we've got quite a bit of interest. Would you be prepared to like to do a Zoom meeting?
Yes.
Has to be Tuesday at 8 o'clock on this date. Okay. So I just tuned in, and then all of a sudden there were over 80 faces, all business owners, appearing on the screen in front of me. Wow. What an amazing opportunity that was.
Who wanted to be part of that?
And you know what? Another couple of months later, they came back and they said, we're really keen. They had decided they wanted to support the new ICU department. And from that one interaction, they've pledged and they are funding more than $1.5 million, this whole community, towards the ICU.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. So, and that's why there's so much satisfaction in my job. Yeah. Because, you're interacting with people that are really philanthropic, they're really community minded, and they want to get in behind, and they're really making a difference. Such a cool job.
That feeling when you get told that figure and then to take that back to the team and like that buzz you must feel of knowing we've achieved that. Yeah, mate.
And you just don't know what a conversation where it can lead you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's just talking and you're educating people and they're keen, they're enthusiastic.
Because there's a fine line between asking too much, pushing it too much as well, and it's a tough one. It's kind of sales when you're not sales in a way. Yeah,
and that's pretty much been my life. I always consider myself in a sales role, but never a salesperson. Yes. I've been a consultant. I work with people to make sure that what they end up with is what they want.
Yeah. How do local businesses or just locals full stop get involved in the Health Foundation?
Ring me.
Put the number down the bottom of the street.
Exactly. You've heard nothing. Yeah, sometimes people run away from me when they see me walking up Devon Street these days. But contact me, go online, thf.org.nz. Our website is really well set up. You can actually make donations online. We have a shop going, so we've identified a lot of equipment from a mop and a bucket through to a CT scanner that you can buy.
Those.
Absolutely. Yep. So we've got a whole shop that's set up online. Okay. Lots of information about the foundation, lots of information about the hospital, and other initiatives like you can sponsor a room. You can do that online, but you're probably better to talk to me about it.
So if it was a business, it would be the whatever society room. But if it was say the family pitched in, could it be like the Carter room?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. So there's over 190 rooms that are available for sponsorship. These are all rooms that are used by patients. You can sponsor it. Now, just to make it clear, we probably won't get all the rooms sponsored. So that doesn't mean that you have to turn up with your blow-up bed because there's no facilities in it. What it is, the money that you are sponsoring, that goes towards enhancement specifically in that department, that ward. So if you pick maternity, well, then that might, or the neonatal, that might help to go towards one of the new incubators that we're buying, for example. But once you sponsored it, you have a plaque on the wall in that room. If you're a group or a business or organisation, you can have your logo on there. More importantly, you can have up to 150 words talking about your why you wanted to get involved, why you wanted to support. Nice. And that's there forever.
And there's been some big businesses that have already got involved.
Yeah. Well, again, after doing the shout, we've got to really shout out to Methanex.
Yes.
Which is
the neonatal unit.
Methanex neonatal unit. So again, 7-figure donation that's come on board. And then what's even better, that this is just not a token, here's some money, go away.
Yeah, and it's not a branding exercise. It's more a support of their staff, isn't it?
Support. I mean, what instigated this big organisation, they had two ladies that worked side by side in HR, down the same track. They both got pregnant at the same time. They both actually had prem babies. They both ended up in Hamilton. And it impacted, as you know, it's your workmate and it's your workplace. So that sort of turned Methanex to be really quite passionate. They've come on board. They're donating $2 million towards Neonatal.
Yeah.
But they're also doing staff fundraising things. So they're doing sponsored walks and all sorts of stuff. And all the staff are 100% behind it. And Methanex, they've got a really big one coming up in September, million step campaign. They're going to be getting all their staff, their contractors and allied businesses involved. So this is going to be a new Plymouth or a Taranaki-wide event. So I'm already talking to other businesses if they want to get involved.
Do we add all the steps up or do we all have to do 1 million steps?
No,
Clear this up.
So 1 million steps, right? Groups of 4, or a team of 4. It's going to be over from 1 September to 30 September, and you achieve that million steps. Now, it sounds a lot, but in actual fact, when you divide it down, it's pretty much around that 10,000 steps per day.
Which is what we should be doing.
That's what we should be doing anyway.
Right.
Health Foundation, we raise money, but we're improving your health at the same time.
Ultimately, yeah, exactly. What's the best part about seeing donations in action within our community?
Well, it's more the fact of when these donations come in that I know and we know just what that's going to do, how that's going to enhance the healthcare, how that's going to help someone having chemotherapy, that they're going to have that nice chair to sit on. How we're going to actually have this amazing piece of equipment called the CT SPECT scanner, which is something that we've never had before. We shouldn't have because Taranaki-based hospital, we're not big enough. Our population's not big enough. But this piece of equipment is amazing for diagnostic work, so actually predicting.
So you don't have to go out of town for that test again. Yeah.
And we were talking about, the big equipment. We're going to have a CT scan in the emergency department.
Wow.
This is second to the one in radiology.
Okay.
Awesome. So
what happens now?
Yep. If you end up, you have an accident, say, you're going to be admitted in through the emergency department. At the moment, they think, geez, we need to do some quick diagnostic work here. They ring through to radiology, which is at the moment the other side of the hospital, to get the person into the CT scanner.
So they have to be taken over to radiology.
Yeah. But the CT scanner, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 is booked.
Of course.
So often we're bumping someone that's got a scheduled appointment because an emergency has come in. All of that's going to stop because there's a dedicated CT scanner in the emergency department. No bumping people, no stress of getting them across the hospital, find staff to do it.
It's safe to say those ones that had the booked appointments had probably been waiting for that for quite a while as well.
Go there, quite likely.
Yeah. So to the fact that no one's getting bumped. Emergency has their own one. The scheduled ones can still go ahead.
And the thing is too that there's going to be the ability to backfill radiology. So if we've got a back pile of people that are needing a CT scan, we've got a second one there that we can use as well. Yeah. So those are sort of things that, when this money comes in, it excites me because I know that this means that we're going to attain this.
Exactly.
We're going to have it.
What do you say to someone that's on the fence about, not sure about whether to support or not?
Well, first of all, I have to admit there's a lot of great charities and organisations out there doing a lot of great stuff. So you need to choose something that actually resounds with you.
Yes.
But if you're on the fence, if you're not sure, just go onto the website, get hold of me. I'll talk to anyone for as long as it takes. But just, I'm happy to answer questions and just sort of let you know. The big thing I like to talk about is the impact. The impact that what your donation will do for the community and generations to come. And Anna, it doesn't matter if it's $10, $10,000 or $1 million. That
was my next thing.
Every dollar counts. Okay. Every dollar helps. Yeah.
So someone might be listening to this right now and think, well, I don't have millions, but can I give you $50?
Yeah. And even if you want to, you can do installment payments. We can set that up. So even if it's $5 a week, a story I'll tell. The awesome people, Christine and John at New World City.
Johnny the Grocer.
What awesome people. So we talked to them. They actually have set up a payroll giving with all of their staff. They've got a lot of staff running around there. John and Christine's expectation was that even if it's just 50 cents a week from the staff through payroll, to donate that to the Health Foundation, and John and Christine will actually dollar match that.
Nice.
So I actually sat with John the other day and he went through the spreadsheet and he was really surprised.
The number of staff?
Well, and that wasn't just 50 cents. People giving $5 or $10 a week.
Nice.
Yeah, so much exceeded the expectations. Yeah. But again, it's just that little bit adds up. Yeah. And the New World team, amazing support that they're giving us.
John and Christine, obviously Taranaki locals, moved away and recently came back. And so they haven't even been back in there a year and they're already doing amazing things like that. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Do you have a favourite story, like about how the foundation's helped someone locally, or how?
Well, I think really it's more the big picture that I will look at. And like sort of what we just talked about with people undergoing radiotherapy. Yeah, that sort of impact for a person that's undergoing the journey and the impact that on their family, you know, and that they can carry on with their life pretty much as normal as it can be. You know, you can go and get your radiotherapy treatment at lunchtime, go back to work in the afternoon, live trucks on. I think that's a side of it that's really huge.
So surely that would make the patient feel less sicker too than someone that has to go to Palmy and go get their 10 minutes of treatment and then sit around and wait.
Yeah.
Do what, you know, until you go back again.
Yeah, it's not been mean, but what is there to do in Palmerston for 6 weeks?
Well, we love you, Palmy, but it's nice to not have to leave Taranaki.
But you want to be home in your own environment, with your own chair, your own bed.
Yeah, and going back to work or doing those things that are just normal for you.
Because it's important to have as much normality as you can when you're going through that journey. So there is that. The other thing is just the people that I meet. The enthusiasm. And another story I'll tell, actually, we when I was working with Hugh and we were doing the fundraiser with Primo, right?
Yes, the head shave at the King the Mountain Barbecue Competition with Smoking Comrades. Yep.
Awesome event. And those guys, the ZZ type looking blokes.
Like the beds that have taken a long time to grow. Like Bogan James. It stands out. It
must have been prerequisite to get a job. But anyhow, they had this event. They had a shave off at the King of the Mountain. They raised $25,000 doing that. Outstanding. But then out of the blue, because we were there for the day. I was approached by a young girl and her mum, Ruby. Ruby wanted to help out on cancer as well. Okay. Ruby had a plan that she was actually growing her hair out. Yes. She wanted to shave her hair, have it made into a wig, and that wig to be used by a child going through a cancer journey. Wow. Really cool story.
Ruby.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruby had lost a papa and she wanted to give back. Yeah. So we sat down, we talked. I said to Ruby, well, this is awesome. And she said, well, I'll do some fundraising. I said, how much would you think you could raise? And she said, if I could raise $500, I'd be really happy. So great, 11-year-old kid.
Absolutely.
You know, she raised $5,000.
$5,000?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And I just love these stories. I love the community involvement. So we went out to St Pius at Waitara on the day, had the head shave done. All her schoolmates were there. Her best mate was in absolute tears because she was seeing her best friend lose all the hair shaved off. Yeah. But, and just the whole community got behind. Amazing.
She would have been thrilled to have made $5,000. Yeah. And to have donated her hair like that too. Yeah. Oh, bless you.
Yeah, Lisa. Good stories.
Stories like that. And yes, you are making a difference, but what that does for their own cups and their own souls is huge as well. Yeah.
It just shows there's so much good in humanity.
Yeah, and we need to see that.
Yeah, we need to keep reminding ourselves that.
We sure do, yeah. So what is the best way for people to get involved or make a difference?
Yeah, go on the website, come up with a clever idea. We're doing a bit of a pivot, so we've been working with a lot of organisations for straight donations, but now we're actually moving to work in the community to do fundraising events.
So that you can basically, if they have the idea, you can help with the marketing and the donation pages and everything for them, right?
We've got our web page set up now, so Simon Valk's our marketing magician. We've got web pages that's there, so he'll develop that for you. You can tell your stories. We will promote it for you. Donations can be made online through us, so it takes care of all of that admin, all of that worry. You can just have it, come up with a clever idea, put it together and have some fun and do it.
So good, yeah. Any upcoming events or campaigns we should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, as I said, we've got the Methanex Million Step campaign coming up in September.
September.
All right, well done. You used to be in marketing.
Amazing.
So that's a big one to look out for. I would just encourage anyone that's out there, if you have an idea, if you want to do fundraising, like we, Ruby, it doesn't matter how big or how small, get in touch. I'll talk to you and we'll put something together.
Yeah.
The main thing is that we have fun when we're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and definitely do. And, I've even seen some events for you, like an evening with Paddy Gower at Fourth Wall. And, we have to give thanks to people like Brett and Raymond from Fourth Wall for donating the entire venue for us.
It's my brother and sister-in-law. Don't worry about me.
Raymond, I've got you. But they did not, none of the ticket sales went to their costs at all. Not one cent. No.
They've actually done a few of those sort of events now with different events of fundraising. And this is another option too that, the Fourth Wall Theatre has sponsored, and let me get it right, the special whānau room in the ICU.
Okay.
And so they've done that by a series of events. So it's just not like, here's $10,000.
Okay.
They've been fundraising and doing events, small events and different things over 2 years.
Okay.
Really cool. So they are now will be the sponsor of the whānau room, the ICU. Really important room because things quite often aren't always going to be the best.
For sure.
So if someone is pretty much maybe on their last hours or days, that this is a separate room where the patient can go in and the family can be with them.
Okay.
And really share that special, private, intimate time that's there. So
as opposed to the patient in their room and the family in another room, they can all be together too. That is special.
And privacy.
Yeah. Well, you can do whatever you need to do to help that family member that way too, with karakia or whatever you need. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's, there's so much again of this holistic approach which has been incorporated to the desigin of all of the buildings that have been built.
Just helps you be a decent human, I think, like
puts humanity into it.
It does, yeah.
And again, I'll be here till 3 o'clock. I'll keep talking until you run out of battery power on the cameras, maybe. But another example, like in the new emergency department we have, there's going to be 2 rooms in there specifically for young children. So it's less sterile. It's
less intimidating.
Not intimidating. It's going to be decorated up with cartoon type stuff just to put the kids at ease. So it's just more and more thought that's gone into it. Really exciting.
Oh, Grant, I love it. And the passion's obvious. Every time I've spoken to you about it, it's something that I know brings a lot of joy to your heart. And it's a big job. Yeah. It'll be really nice when we didn't have to walk 100 miles to visit someone at the hospital when it's all completed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is difficult at the moment. It's a construction zone, right?
Yeah.
I feel for the staff. They have to park off campus.
Yeah.
And there's always normally good parking that you can find at Lynn Street, but you got to follow that red path.
You do.
It is a walk. Yeah.
It is. But, this is what happens while we wait for it to be built.
Yeah.
So. Well, I think we've covered a lot there, Grant, of what the Health Foundation does and how we can help and how the Health Foundation is helping us to all have better lives when it comes to healthcare, which is something a lot of people talk about too. Yeah. So we appreciate you coming in and your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. And Grant's a very lovely man to approach.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
Oh, exactly. A face that only a mother could love.
So we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll pop some links down the bottom so you can easily click through to give to the Health Foundation. But thank you so much, Grant.
Thanks. Love it.
Appreciate it. Yeah.